Well, friends, you're looking at the last gasp of color here in Vermont. By the time this video is out, all of these leaves will be off the trees and we'll be settling into the bare, what we call stick season in Vermont, which is November. Happens to be one of my favorite times of year because it's so quiet. So I'll have some raking to do, but in today's video, I'm going to take you for a walk and introduce you to a little bit of I guess it would be our New England version of the groundhog. I'm going to make some homemade applesauce with the last of the picked apples and take you on a little antique excursion and show you a few things that I purchased for my home. So get that cup of tea, hit that subscribe button, be sure to like and share the video, and let's get going. One of the things I love about this walk is all the interesting things that I find. So here's some wild grapevine, some wild grapes, and you can see the grapevine up in here. Try to get up close so you can see it. And once the leaves are off, it'll be really easy to spot. So there you go. Did you know that Punxsutawney Phil is not the only creature that is used to predict weather? Let me introduce you to the woolly bear caterpillar. And according to the Farmer's Almanac, this little fella is a good predictor of the winter to come. So according to the Farmer's Almanac, the larger, the whiter, the brown rust-colored band in the center of the caterpillar, the milder the winter will be. And this one seems to have a pretty wide brown band on him. There is a little shadow at the end that makes it look like there's more black than there actually was. So I'm going to take this to mean that we're going to have a mild winter. And by the way, I did move this caterpillar off of the road and into the field on the side. But we'll see if the prediction is accurate this year. Making homemade applesauce is definitely a tradition in my house each fall, and I'm just starting with about a dozen macintosh apples, and the more ripe the better because the softer ones make really good applesauce. It's actually a great use of them. So here I'm just going to give them a rinse. These apples are not organic, so these will need a good cleaning. So I think I told you this, but I have about a dozen of them, and I'm just going to give them a rinse and a dry, and then I'm going to get started cutting them up for the applesauce. So once the apples are washed and dried, I'm going to prepare them to go into a stock pot to boil. So what I do is I core them, and for the way I make applesauce, I leave the skin on. They're washed and clean, and if your apples are nice and red and ripe, it'll give your applesauce a gorgeous pink color, and there's lots of nutrients that live in the skin. So when I cut the apples, I cut them in half and then in half again, and then I just cut in at an angle to remove the core. So let's see if I can get closer so you can see. But what I'm doing here is, like I said, I'm just cutting them in half and half again. Here we go, in half again. And then I just cut it in an angle and remove that core. And then I can go ahead and slice those quarters in half again. So you'll have, about 8 slices to go into the stock pot to boil. And you can do this any way you like. You can leave the cores. They will come out in the food mills, you'll see. But this way, it just cuts down on the amount of waste. I just get it out initially, and then I don't have to worry about any seeds or core getting into my sauce. And then you're going to add water almost to cover the apples, so they're not submerged, but so you can see that the water is just below the top layer of apples. You can always add more water, but you can't really take it away. Then you go ahead and put the pot on the stove and bring the water up to a boil. And then once it gets to a boil, I turn it down to a simmer and just let the apples cook down until they are soft and mushy. So it does not take long. I can't tell you how long it is. I pretty much stay right next to it and stir it and kind of keep coming back to it. And then you'll know when the apples are sort of mushy with the spoon. That's a consistency thing that you'll get to realize. So the next thing you do is you're going to grab a Foley food mill. If you've seen these before, this is what you use to maybe grind up, make baby food. It is literally a food mill. It's a strainer, and it sits on top of a bowl, and you just pour the applesauce in. I will tell you, you're going to want to let the applesauce cool a little bit before you put it through, but you can see now the peel is staying on the inside of the strainer, and you're just left with the applesauce. And you just give it a stir, and I season it with, we like ours sweet, so I add quite a bit of sugar and a little bit of cinnamon. So I've added as much as a cup of sugar, but if I were you, I would start out with maybe a quarter cup and then keep tasting it as you go. And a little bit of cinnamon is also a great thing. Maybe a half teaspoon of cinnamon goes a long way. And again, you're just going to have to season it to taste. But my family likes to eat their applesauce warm. And in fact, if I make it and then refrigerate it overnight the next day when we have it, my kids will often heat it up in a saucepan on the stove or in the microwave. So that's just how we like it. So I just came in from the car. I ran out to the car to bring in a few things to show you that I picked up on my errands and travels today. Does anybody else run out to the car? It's freezing in their slippers and whatever to get things. And you saw my hands are full because I just don't like to make 2 trips. So I went to 2 different stores today. I went to local market, and they have, in addition to, health foods, they do have some local items, and they also have really great candles. And I love burning candles, tapers, particularly this time of year when it gets dark early, and I like to have them out for the fall. So I wanted to get Beeswax candles, and they had them there. So I got a couple of little votive candles there in the beeswax, and there's just something about the smell of beeswax that just is so pleasant to me. So I got a couple of votives. I only have, I think, maybe one votive holder, and but I love the way they look burning. And then I did get 2 sets of tapers. I got a tall set of the beeswax. And I like these because they have the wicks attached, so you could actually hang them if you wanted. And I got a smaller one. So obviously the smaller ones will go on my taller candlesticks. And then on the smaller candlesticks, I will use the taller ones. And they just love the way they feel and look and smell. These are mole hollow. So I got 2 votives, 2 tall tapers, and 2 small ones. And they wrapped them in tissue paper for me. And I'm going to show you, you can't see it on the right now, but I'm going to show you a way that you can keep, the way that I keep tapers, and it might work for you as well. If you're in a thrift store, Goodwill, wherever, you will probably find in the basket section they're like French bread baskets. This one was $1, maybe even 50 cents at mine. And that's how I store my tapers. They're a great way to put them in, put them in tissue paper. And they're a perfect size. And then wherever you keep your candles, I keep mine in a drawer or cupboard. This is just a good way to store them so they're not rolling around. I have some in here that probably I need to get rid of because they've burned so small. I'm not sure this one's worth saving, but you can also break them up and remelt them and make your own candles if you so choose. But these little baskets are a great way to keep tapers. These also work great for serving utensils or other things, but just a little tip. So I also took a stop at, right around the corner from me is a local antique store, and it's not very big. They have several vendors, but it's, you know, pretty small. Maybe eight to 10 booths, small booths. But I really like to check it out. If I don't get there, I usually try to get there about twice a month. And I have a few items that I'm looking for in particular. And of course I didn't see any of those. But I did pick up a flower frog, which I only have one other one. So this is only my second one. And I do a lot with flowers and stems and plants and different things. So this nice wider one will be great for some of the vessels that I use. It was $6. And then I'm always on the hunt, no matter where I am, for nice artwork. And my style in my home is a lot of, it's like federal style, it's like colonial Williamsburg, and that's what I gravitate to. I live in New England, and I just love that sort of old world, early American type style. And this print was there. You have probably seen these. I have two of the flower, monthly flower prints. This one is the Williamsburg fruit, and this is the month of August. On the bottom it has the month. I'm not going to be able to get close enough for you to see, but this, I have several spots where this can go. Really, I need a pair, so I am on the hunt now for another one similar to this, so that I can have a pair hanging up. But I love this colonial look. This is August, so it's seasonal fruits. It's peaches and plums, and I just love the way that this looks. I could see this hanging in a colonial Williamsburg type house. So this is going to go in my dining room. Oh, this was $25, and it was from a booth that was 20% off. So it was $20 and then $6 for the frog. So I paid $26 for my couple little finds. I want a gorgeous like mohair or some type of beautiful wool throw for the back of my chair, and something that is from the British Isles possibly. And they're extremely expensive, so it's definitely something that is going to be an investment. I will do it, but I just may need some time to get it right and to save for it. But in the meantime, I saw this beautiful, it's actually a shawl, but it's massive. It's a massive shawl, and it is very soft, and it has these really beautiful fall colors, like the creams and the taupes and all the colors I love. I love green and cream and taupe and black. So and it's soft, and what I also love about it is I'm a sucker for anything with fringe. So it's got some fringe, and I just can't describe to you how soft this is. But it is in my opinion, way too big for a shawl. I could probably wrap myself up several times in this. And but I thought, wow, I wonder if this could work as a throw on the back of a chair. Because if you buy a square throw, they are sort of hard to style on the back of a chair for some interest. And this is not wool. It is Eddie Bauer. It has a little Eddie Bauer tag on it. And it's a shawl, and it was $3.50. Here's the tag. And it has, my goodness, my glasses. It is acrylic, but it is so soft and beautiful. So I intend to drape it on the back of one of my chairs. Now, these chairs unfortunately don't provide much of a contrast, but they're what I have, and these are the colors I love. I picked this up for $3.50, and I'm going to show you how I use it, how I style with it. But just a way to think outside the box. If you want a
blanket or a throw and you want this certain look, look at the shawls. They're big and this one is asymmetrical, so it's meant to wrap around you. So it's perfect for draping on the back of a chair. So I thought for $3.50, this was well worth it. Again, it's huge, it's the colors I love, and I think it'll be perfect on the back of a chair.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you've learned a few things, enjoyed some nice scenery, and thanks for spending time here at Relatively Refined. We would sure appreciate it if you would like and share this video. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Thanks again for watching. Bye.